All right, spawning over here in the top left-hand position as the red Terran. It is CM Storm's very own Polt. And across the ways on Belshire Vestige, it is his opponent, Evil Genius's Revival, spawning down here. All right, we've seen Belshire Vestige. It seems like we always go to the same maps, by the way.
Yeah.
Belshire Vestige is seen as the absolute staple map for every single matchup. Is this the most balanced map we've seen in the map pool?
I think right now it's the most balanced map in the map pool. I think it slightly favors Terran in TVZ, but it's a very small difference, I think. It's pretty close. I think every player is comfortable in it. Every player's played in this map a lot, and I don't think either player feels like it favors the other race that much, if any.
Yeah. I mean, when we first looked at this, I think a lot of people said, oh, this is such a good Terran map because of all the little, all the ramps and everything. It helps out Widow Mine so much more. It's a lot harder to creep spread, enabling Terrans to just take advantage of a lot of positions. But then Zergs, I think, realized, okay, we can still creep spread pretty reasonable if we're just on top of it. They kind of learned that. I think a lot of Zergs have learned how to mine micro a lot better. And most importantly, I think a lot of Zergs have been counterattacking a lot more on this map, which is something that you have to punish Terrans if they're moving too far into positions.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Polt again going for the barracks into refinery.
I think we'll see maybe the same opening as last game, and I liked that opening last game a lot, actually. I liked how he only made one Reaper, and then he got the Reactor. I think that's a better way to do it than the traditional 2 Reapers.
Well, Katz was bringing up a good point where, you know, 2 Reapers, if you don't go that second Reaper, there could be a point where, you know, 4 Zerglings or 6 Zerglings can be sent way beforehand. And it's kind of like you're doing damage with the first Reaper, but then my 4 Zerglings or 6 Zerglings are shooting or killing the SCV that's making the starting command center. This variation might not protect against that nearly as much, or the first Reaper really needs to watch for those type of things that are that come. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Yeah, that's a good point. We've seen Zergs sometimes not do that as much lately, just because often Terran players will just make 2 Reapers, and then they shut it down no problem. We do see that Polt is doing the same opening though, and he could face some trouble if we saw Revival sneak a couple lings around, but it can be difficult. His first Reaper is already arriving at the Zerg base, so I don't think there'll be too much of an opportunity for him to sneak any Zerglings around.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Gas is not initiated yet. Polt is going to get in here, and look, he could have done additional damage, but what he was looking for is the geysers. And he's going to go into the natural again and look at the geysers and see if, you know, just by any chance they are taken. So such intelligent movement with this Reaper, really understanding this matchup so incredibly, because now this is an indicator to tell him exactly what he can do going into the beginning of mid-game.
Revival's being a bit sloppy with his Zerglings, losing 3 of the initial 4. I think that's a bit unnecessary. Often you can make it to the Queens with only 1 or 2 Zergling losses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit interesting. But yeah, it looks like Polt is doing that same build, by the way. Reaper and Marine inside of his reactor. So he's just switching up a little bit. Getting the factory, of course. We'll see what he does directly after this. As, you know, some people like to go 3 CCs. Some people like to just stay on 2 CCs, tech all the way to Starport really quickly, and then just play from there. But nope, Starport going to be chosen yet again in sight of Revival's Overlord, so you will be able to see that.
Polt actually didn't see that Overlord. None of the buildings had vision of it.
Really?
So he has no clue that it's been spotted, I don't think.
Wow. That's a bit lucky there. But it is. That's okay. Revival has just the intelligence of what's to come. Right now, I think he's really worried about Banshees, but more so like Widowmine drops or some sort of drops, whether it be Hellions, whatever it might be. Revival doing the same exact build that we saw last game on Derek Watcher, getting the Roach Warren. 630 is up. We still do not see a drone moving over to the 3rd base to try to take that. Instead, 4 gas is going to be started for any evolution chambers as well.
I'm not sure why he wants all this gas. Maybe he's going to go for another quick Roach timing, actually. Because if he's going to take a quick 3rd and play defensive, he doesn't need all the gases this early. Unless he's going for fast mutas or something.
Oh.
But I don't think he'll go for fast mutas since he has the Roaches this quickly.
Yeah, I don't think he really can. I think he's gearing up for that same 1-1 timing. Maybe the extra gases just in order to maybe flex a little bit more with his like a Banshee, or not Banshee, Baneling type of composition with this whole army, but I'm not sure, honestly.
But I mean, it didn't work out at all for
Yeah.
him last game. So.
Well, he only did Roaches last time, right? He could do a Roach Bane, and he might say, like, oh, I could just... Whoa! Okay, I would never have thought this. A Nidus Network.
Interesting. This hasn't been as popular lately. It came out when it came out. It was popular for a little bit, but then Terran players found out that even with 3 command centers, they can sometimes hold it off. I do think it will catch Polt off guard, though.
There is an Overlord in position to just park a Nidus Network right here, and then he's just rallying units into his opponent's base.
He's not moving that Overlord in, though. Maybe he's just going to put one in front of Polt's base.
I don't know, man.
Because he hasn't made an Overseer yet to send it in to scout, and that Overlord would take quite a while to walk over to the main base. So maybe he's just going to put it in front. I'm not sure what he's doing with this. It's surprising he hasn't started the Nidus Canal yet.
We'll definitely see, and there it is. It has started right in the front.
I don't know if I like this that much. I think in front of the base is where it's least likely to work. He could have slipped one in the main base, maybe. Actually, Polt's bonings do kind of give him vision of everything, but just barely.
Yeah. +1 missile attack won't finish, but Glee Reconstitution will be up here. The sound that the Nidus Network is out and about is up. One thing that does help out incredibly is the fact that he will have queens and a lot of creep to help out. So we'll see now. The Nidus Network has started in the main base. Oh my goodness, this is actually going to work out so incredibly well. As you can see, there is vision of it. I don't know how it got vision.
I don't know, though. Polt already has 3 Marauders on the field, with the 4th one popping out.
That's true. Nidus Network has started in the main base, and here he goes, loading on up. And he's back over here. Nice little drop, going to try to deny this Nidus Network from coming up.
He's pulling the SCVs, though. This is the perfect choice. But I don't know. Oh, he's targeting down the Nidus.
This is perfect.
All the roaches are going to die.
Yeah, I mean, you cannot reinforce that. Yes, the SCVs will die, but the fact that you're getting such a large army advantage when you've been investing only in army this whole time, that actually messes you up so much. And he can't do any further attacks directly after this because he's only been on 2 base for a very long time. Mules are going to be dropped 1-1. Is spotted out here from Revival, but when it comes down to it, the army composition is right coming out from Polt.
And with Polt on 3 orbital command centers, he has a pretty good economy now, even with losing. Well, actually, let me take that back. He doesn't have the best economy now, but neither does Revival, so I think it's about even in terms of economy.
It's going to be difficult, but Revival can even it up here. He's going to engage against this Marine Marauder Glob, and it looks like he's looking okay, but he needs to be careful, because pushing on in there with a lot of Widow Mines is going to be a little bit risky. The creep spread is nice now that he can do like backwards creeping. And remember, he has a very easy retreat path as well. So things aren't looking nearly as bad. I thought Revival was actually dead after this, but still he hasn't saturated his 3rd base, again engaging in this front. And I feel like Polt, once he grabs his 1-1, he's going to look so good. And he just has to wait 80 seconds, and then he'll have his 1-1. His units will be so much more lean. He gains his medevac count, and from there, he's just going to take off.
Revival is doing a good job of spreading a lot of creep tumors outwards from the Nidus Canal, though. This will help him some after Polt defends it, because he'll have to spend maybe 4 scans to clean up all these creep tumors.
Yep. And again, cleaning everything up, it looks like Polt will be able to survive that last attack. Combat shields is a must, by the way. He still doesn't have combat shields. He's going to just stim forward and engage against this, still maintaining a lot of his Marauders, but losing all of his Marines. Needs to be careful. Combat shield now initiated, and 1-1 about to complete. This will shut down a lot of the attack coming out from Revival. Remember, Revival is almost at 1-1 as well. He has +1 missile attack, just now equalizing out with his +1 Carapace. And he's just relentless. I mean, he has saturated his a little bit in his main or his 3rd base, but not that much. And remember, this composition just gets better and better as the medevac count grows. Like, this is not nearly as bad for Polt, I think, than people might think, even though it looks pretty brave and dire.
Yeah, still, Polt's unit count is still kind of low. So I think, but Revival, he's overcommitting a lot here in this fight. He's losing a lot of roaches and only killing a few Marauders. I think this was a crucial mistake.
Can't really do that, but as it stands, it's still going to be tough for Polt. Don't get me wrong. It's not like he passes with flying colors right now. He has a lot of creep to clear up, and then from there, he could be up against so many different compositions. Although he sees a lot of roaches, he's probably like, okay, I'm against Roach Zerg and Baneling from here on out. I'm not sure, though, I don't even think Metabolic Boost has been started. I haven't seen it in the production
Oh yeah,
test.
it's just gonna be Roach Hydra again. I think Polt needs to clean up the creep tumors first thing though, because
Yes.
he's gonna want a third base pretty soon. We see
Yes.
Revival is already going up to a fourth base, and the Hydralisk den's coming down as well. And Polt, he wants to secure his third, but even with clearing up the creep now, it's gonna be about a minute and a half or 2 minutes before he can take that third base, I think.
Yeah, and also keep in mind,
Oh,
not
and
only
he
is
missed
there
that
the,
tumor.
there's the economic timing that Revival has now, but there's also the 2-2 timing. Look at this, 120 seconds just about. So there's a large window where Polt will not have that equality, and that's normally what you want. I know the Roach Hydra or even just Mass Roaches relies a lot on these timings and just having the right upgrades at the right times, but now there's going to be a large window where Revival can really take advantage of his opponent. We'll see though, because you still have to respect the
He's
medevac
losing a
count.
lot of units kind of sloppily though. And with Roach Hydra, usually you don't want to go for a lot of small engagements. You want to
Yes.
save up and crush them in one big timing attack.
Yeah, that's definitely a situation where you have to mass up in a lot, and just you're hitting these timings, not only 2-2, but also when your opponent has invested so much into production, like barracks and stuff, and you don't have to do that because it's all coming out of the same building, the hatchery. You just have to purchase that Hydra Den, get the essential upgrades, and from there you can start mass production. But as it stands, Polt is doing a great job. That one creep tumor in the top right-hand corner was finally cleared out. And creep is going to be respread into the center, by the way.
And Revival's units are just kind of getting filtered up this ramp. He's
Yep.
losing a lot more than he needs to, and I think Polt's going to run away now.
Yeah, he will. 2-2 has finished, so it helps out, but it was in the middle of that engagement, so Polt probably got the best engagement possible for the given circumstance. He will get out of there. Does he have enough at home, though? It looks like he does. He needs to, of course, congregate all of his units. I mean, the medevac count, that's the one thing that I'm looking at right now. That helps out so incredibly much. If he's able to increase his Marine Marauder count, that's going to be so much better. Right now, 76 applied to 128.
This attack from Revival is a bit weaker than I feel like it could have been. He's taken a few engagements that weren't the best, and he was actually supply blocked at 176.
Oh.
And now he's attacking up this ramp.
And it looks like he's going to be okay, though. I mean, the roaches aren't being
I don't
pinned
know.
down
These
all that
units
much.
are kind of dying, and Polt still has a decent amount of bio. I think Polt might lose a couple SCVs, but he can push Revival back for now.
Yeah, that was a lot of roaches, though, that he lost. And you can see the medevacs just flying over, running out of energy. Polt needs to be careful with this. He doesn't want to lose all of his medevacs. It does look like Polt's units are thinning out, and he needs to back up from here. Another round of units are popping out, though, for Revival. Units tab showing
And
23 roaches out on the field.
Polt's economy is in tatters right now. He only has 3 SCVs as expansion. His main's almost mined out, and he's still... Now he's just secured his third base. This is the first Mules he's dropped at it.
Yep. And here it is, another round, but Polt up. Lag? Oh, gosh. This is the worst possible time, but as it stands, I think Polt is like 95% dead here.
I think more like 98% dead.
I think 99% dead.
Yeah, I think that's closer.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard for Polt to really come back into this. As it stands, he doesn't have a standing army. As you said, his economy is in shambles.
Yeah, this attack that's coming in now, I think Polt might be able to defend it, but he's going to lose that tank if it gets targeted down. He's going to lose some of the bio, and he's just not in the best spot.
Well, once he loses his natural, he's all but dead. +2/+2 is just about to finish out, and from there, I mean, Polt doesn't really have units to...
One of the other big problems that you mentioned is all these medevacs are almost out of energy. About 7 of them were just flying over the Zerg army in the last fight. And once the medevacs have no energy, bio that's not being healed by medevacs just kind of melts.
It looks like the game has continued on here, and we're just going to get back into it. Marines and Marauders are pretty small in number, and as soon as he kills this natural, it's
2
gonna be awesome.
Marauders and about 7 or 8 Marines.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can hold on to his natural here.
I don't think he can, and there it is. GG, ladies and gentlemen. Revival take game number 2.